Welcome to the first edition of WWE 2015, How I Would Book It. I did a little introduction to it a couple of days ago, and now we're booking our first show. As you can tell, this is a pre-show matches, or the dark matches, the matches before the show, whatever you want to call them. I called up Sami Zayn in many respects sooner than people would have thought, because the game is very different than real life. And with developmental, if people stay down in developmental too long, their morale changes and they get mad and they complain and complain and complain and complain. And that's what Sami was doing. That's why I called him up. But Bo and Sami, first one. Also I had Ray Lipan and Xavier Woods, Alicia and Emma, Cliff Compton and Heath Slater, Brad Maddox. Okay, this is the first thing on the show. We come in on the show, and Brad Maddox is found backstage attacked. What happened? Nobody knows. The only thing that everybody knows is somebody attacked Brad Maddox, somebody that didn't want Brad Maddox in power anymore. So, we got questions, like who did it. Now we move on. The announcers start the show off questioning who could have attacked Brad Maddox. Then we move to this match, the Primetime Players versus Miz and Mizdow. Much like my reasoning of bringing back the Nation of D'Lo and Mark Henry, that's the same reason why I brought back the Primetime Players. Because neither Titus or Darren Young were doing much of anything by themselves, so I figured, why not make them a tag team again? Now we move on. The next segment is D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry against Goldust and Stardust. They're cutting a promo, and this is mostly Mark Henry just talking, as he is pissed off because he doesn't understand why his former friend Goldust, because these two go way back from the days of the Attitude Era, the original WWE, the good WWE. I don't mean the original one. And he's questioning why Goldust would do this. Why Cody and Stardust would do it. Like, he doesn't understand why Goldust and Cody are acting like this. Why can't they just be competitive and accept competition instead of taking any possible advantage that they can to have the unfair advantage over the challengers? Why can't they be welcoming of a fair fight? Now, you have Lana and Rusev. They come out to the ring, and they're pissed off. They're pissed off about not being used to their fullest, to what they felt, Lana feels Rusev has not been used to his fullest potential. She says, just like an American, hold those who are superior back to prevent from being upstaged. So she basically is insisting upon the idea that Rusev has not gotten that much TV time, is not being treated as the superior athlete that he is, because someone is afraid that Rusev is going to upstage the American talent. In a way, this is a shoot. Because, like I said in the first video, I have been doing this season in the game since November. And also, like I said in the game, Rusev, much like Luke Harper, are limbo right now because I have nothing to do with them. So I basically let Lana come out with Rusev and shoot on Rusev's current standing in the company. That led to Rusev competing. Yes, it was against one of the Matadors. Yes, a squash match. What other type of match would it be? You put him in a squash match to show how dominant he is, even if it is against a guy in the tag team division. I never liked the Matadors. I never liked them as a tag team. I never liked the gimmick. I never understood the gimmick. And I thought this gimmick was pointless. And that's why he's getting squashed. Plain and simple. Now, see, it's hard for me to say what I would have Bray Wyatt say, because in reality, I'm almost 100% sure he's one of the few people in WWE currently that doesn't have his promos being scripted. So, I can't tell you what I would have Bray say. I may have Bray take the direction of Dean's gonna regret asking for the match tonight because these two are fighting on Raw. It's a big show. It's the first show of the new year. I'm pulling out all the stops. Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose fighting tonight. Fact of the matter is, I might give Bray that direction, that Dean's gonna regret coming in the ring with him tonight. But I'm not gonna give him a lot of direction, and I'm gonna let Bray control how the promo goes. Because if he does that in WWE, why would I be the one that tells him he can't write his own promos if WWE lets him? So I'm gonna stick with WWE on that. Now we move on to the New Day. Like I said in the first video, sorry, I didn't say this in the first video. I said this in the post. Unlike real WWE, I'm making the New Day heels because I feel like the type of stable they are, they would be better off as heels. So that's why they're heels. And much like before, with Lana, the New Day are coming out and complaining about their current standing in the company. Because outside of a short feud early on in the season with another tag team, Kofi, Big E, and Xavier Woods have not done anything. At all. It's not that I don't like them as talents, it's that I don't like the gimmick. And with the fact that I don't like the gimmick, I tend to gravitate towards people whose gimmicks I like and who I can do things with, because of the fact that I like them, basically, So this goes into their scheduled match against the Nation, where guess who comes out? Goldust and Stardust. But they distract him. They don't touch him. And you know what? Actually, I misread that. No, Goldust and Stardust don't come out because of the fact that Kofi and Big E have been teaming a lot more recently, for longer than Henry and D'Lo have, because Henry and D'Lo just got back together. Kofi and Big E have been teaming for the last couple of months, so they're more used to each other and how they work in a tag team. That's why I had Kofi and Big E win. Plain and simple, because the chemistry plays a part, and the lack of ring rust in the ring together as a tag team. Now we move to this promo with the Bellas. Like I said in the first video, the Bellas are feuding with Paige and AJ. Honestly, I don't know why, but it would be difficult for me to come up with something for the Bellas to say. So I'm just going to say, picture a promo that Nikki and Brie would do in WWE, where Nikki and Brie are saying that they're the measuring stick. They're basically saying they're the measuring stick of the division. AJ might hold the Divas title, but just like they're the stars of Total Divas, they are the stars of the Divas division. And come Royal Rumble, Nikki will prove why AJ is nothing more than a wannabe diva, because everybody wants to be the Bellas. You know, something like that. Now we move on to this. Backstage, Seth Rollins. We zoom in on Seth Rollins somewhere else backstage, talking on his cell phone to someone. Now, let me mention this. Like I said in the first video, the Authority disappeared after Survivor Series and have not shown up since. Rollins has a triple threat match for the WWE World Heavyweight title against Brock Lesnar and John Cena at the Royal Rumble. Put two and two together, Maddox was attacked to start the show, so put two and two together, who do you think Seth Rollins is talking to? Now we move to the Divas title match. Let me explain this. I know I said that Nikki, when the Bellas were cutting the promo, Nikki is getting the title shot at the Royal Rumble. Well, as it turns out, I think it was on SmackDown last week, AJ stepped in the ring against Brie. Because I'm getting to the point where putting the people in the ring before the pay-per-view totally isn't a bad idea. Because it could give you more mileage out of the pay-per-view. But as you see, AJ won. Brie beat AJ to get the title shot, but AJ retained the title. And now, of course, where Brie goes, Nikki goes, and because Nikki is there, Paige comes out to even the odds. And the four Divas brawl to the back. Yes, you heard me right. The Divas brawl to the back. Why? Because I'm giving Divas a chance. Bad news, Barrett backstage with Corey Graves. Corey is interviewing. Bad news about an upcoming Fatal 4-Way match, which includes Dolph Ziggler. This Fatal 4-Way match is the good old-fashioned championship chase that WWE did back in the day on the ECW brand to determine who was the number one contender for the ECW World Heavyweight title. But now I'm doing it for the Intercontinental title. This match includes Bad News Barrett. Now we go backstage to a different place. Ambrose is cutting a promo backstage on Bray Wyatt. And you know something? This promo is much like the old Shield promos where they're on like their own camera. It's almost like they tapped into the feed to get to get it up on the Titantron, and Ambrose has his own camera and is holding his own camera while he cuts the promo. I mean, well, that might not work. Ambrose has his own camera that he had. You know what? Let's just leave it at Ambrose has his own camera, and that's how he's cutting his own promo backstage. Why? Because Ambrose is his own man. He's a lone wolf. And he's cutting a very similar promo to what Wyatt was cutting earlier in the show. Now, a third promo, further building up the championship chase, as Dolph Ziggler returns the favor. Dolph cuts a promo is being interviewed by Byron Saxton about his upcoming championship chase match, which involves Bad News Barrett. And now it's time for the championship chase, which includes Bad News Barrett, Dolph Ziggler, Justin Gabriel, and Jack Swagger. First of all, you might say, Justin Gabriel, what the hell is he still doing here? He got fired. He got fired in January of this year. He quit the company in January of this year. Even if I started in January, I would have started before he quit. That's why he's still here, because though I never thought that Justin was a person who you could push to the main event and have a credible main eventer, I did always like Justin's in-ring ability and his ability to put over talent. And that's why, Championship Chase, Justin was the first eliminated. And SmackDown will see Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, and Bad News Barrett in a triple threat match where the first person to get pinned loses. I just realized I messed up. The Championship Chase is a one fall to a finish match. I did an elimination match, not the right way to do it, but always SmackDown to fix it. I have SmackDown to fix it. I mean, what would Raw be without a recap? The announcers recap what happened earlier in the show to Brad Maddox. The old, if you're just joining us, this is what happened earlier in the show with Brad Maddox. Now, what would a Intercontinental title championship chase match be without promoting the Intercontinental Champion? So, this is where I would run a video highlighting the domination of Luke Harper. Wait, I think I misspoke. A video highlighting how dominant Harper has been since he debuted in WWE. Remember, guys, I'm new to this. It's gonna take me some time to get used to it. I'm sorry if I'm tripping up on my words. Now we move on. Kane. Plain and simple. I gave Kane this match to give him a win. Because I feel like over the last couple of weeks, including the last Raw of December of 2014, Kane's jobbed. So I gave Kane the win. Kane and Seth Rollins are backstage. This is where I would have Seth telling Kane who he was talking to on the phone, but we can't hear who Seth is talking to because before he says it, he kicks us out. Now we move on where the announcers finally reveal the main event tonight, which is John Cena versus Daniel Bryan. Like I said earlier, I'm trying to squeeze out every possible success I have and make this show seem like the biggest show possible because of the fact that it is the first show of 2015. Now, I give Seth Rollins a win against Santino, a jobber match, nothing different. Cena and Daniel Bryan. Why do I do this? Because they're both baby faces. And in my opinion, it's just going to be a competitive match. And this is where I would have both Bryan and Cena wishing each other luck in their match tonight. Now, what would the show be without promoting the world title feud? This is where I would promote the world title feud. As who better to promote the feud than Paul Heyman? Now we move on. Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt. I would have Dean win because that still allows the comeback. Also, how did the feud start? The feud started with Bray costing Ambrose the biggest match in practically modern WWE. Or one of the biggest matches, the culmination of the war between Rollins and Ambrose. Once again, this is me promoting. I was always a big supporter of the SmackDown Rebound, highlighting what happened the week before. Because you highlight the top thing that happened on SmackDown the week before to make it where people feel like they're missing something. And try to get people to tune in to the show. Booker's promo. I know this isn't good, but I don't remember why. I don't remember why I had Booker cut a promo here. That's what it was. He was updating people. No, it wasn't that. That's not good. That's never happened before. But like I said, I'm not used to doing this, so things like this, not surprised. Me forgetting why I did a certain thing, I'm not surprised that it happens because it's going to take some time getting used to doing this like this and not having it all written down for me in front of me already. That was the announcers once again promoting Daniel Bryan versus John Cena, and the main event, Daniel Bryan, John Cena. Daniel Bryan wins after distraction from J&J Security and interference from Seth Rollins when J&J Security were distracting John Cena. Now, Daniel Bryan did not let this happen. What I would have done is Daniel Bryan would have been down after an AA, and that's when Seth Rollins and J&J Security would do the run-in, distract Cena, end up costing him his match. And Daniel would win with cattle mutilation. Now, what would this lead to? This would lead to Cena being attacked by the Authority. Until Daniel Bryan turns around and makes the save. What I would do to make sure Daniel leaves and to make it where it makes sense that Daniel left is have the Authority hide until Daniel walks out of the ring. And then when Daniel realizes what's going on, he runs back and saves Cena from the Authority. And also what I would have happen is I would have both J&J Security members, Mercury and Noble, end up taking the AA and the running knee. solid show. I could have did better, but a solid show. Okay, a little longer than I thought, but the only way to make things better, the only way I can get better is by doing it. That's it. So, instead of continuing talking, that's the end of this edition. That's the end of this. I probably won't be adding SmackDown to the back of it because I don't want this to be too long. So, this has been WWE, How I Would Book It 2015. How I Would Book It WWE 2015. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.